what I'm going to do, everybody on this call, is I'm going to let you know exactly the benefits and the values of having the leads in the marketing system to run your business. If you have no leads, you have no marketing system, you really have no business. And that's exactly what we give you here. We give you, I would say, the fuel to drive your business, okay, which is the leads in the marketing system. And the way it works, I feel my system is very unique because we set up a system that you're basically building a list. Every guru out there and every strong marketer knows that you got to have a list. And just think if you're new to working from home right now, or even if you've been involved in working from home for maybe the last 5 years, wouldn't you like to have every single lead that you've spoken to? Or wouldn't you like to have every single lead that has been redirected to your website? To me, those points are extremely, extremely important of building a business. You could say, well, Glenn, that person wasn't, they weren't happy, with me at the time, and they weren't excited about what they saw. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, I do go back as far as, I hate to say it, but I mean, my first involved in network marketing was back in 1985. I'm 56. But I've had people join me a year later. I've had people join me 2 years later. Call me up and say, hey, Glenn, what are you doing these days? And that's how you build a rapport with people. So just think that if you had every single person, okay, that's been redirected to your site, has been coming to these conference calls, is involved and knows what you're doing. Because a lot of people, you guys are just going to sit back and they're going to watch, or they're going to do a due diligence. Behind your back, they're going to look up, pretty much, the opportunity, what we're doing. And that's what people do. But my point tonight is what we do is we build a list. And to me, building a list, whether you've been in network marketing for 6 months, whether you've been in network marketing for 6 days, 6 years, 15 years, it's extremely important to build your list. And if you haven't done it yet, it's never too late. And that's what our system does. The way I set up my marketing system, okay, is that we did this so that it's your campaign. Okay, we're running it, but everything's in your name, and we stand behind 100%. As far as your domain, you never have to worry about losing your domain with our company because people never see your domain until they request the information. So with that being said, and getting back to what I was mentioning, it's your campaign. It's your name. It's all your information. You have any problems, we stand behind it, and I haven't had any problems. And I can't remember how long. But if I do, it's very simple. What we do is based on the fact of a confirmation link. If someone's familiar with an AWeber uses what's called permission-based mailing. Okay, we use confirmation links. What a confirmation link is that we send out an email, and the person reads our subject line. If they like it, they'll open our email. When they open our email, they read a message body. Again, if they like what they read, it'll be saying something to do with, pertaining to the fact of getting involved in a work-from-home business. If they like that, they're going to click our link. When they click our link, we're going to redirect them. So now all you need to do is call that person back. And it's as simple as this. Hey, how you doing, Glenn? Hey, I don't mean to bother you. You were just at my website a little while ago. I see that you're interested in getting involved in a work-from-home business. And at that time, the person could say, yeah, I did see that. I got some questions about it. Or in this day and age, guys, we know people sometimes had a bad day, maybe they had a fight with the neighbor, had a fight with their dog, and they said, no, I'm not interested. What we do is that person has just clicked your confirmation link, which means they've confirmed the fact to receive information from you. And when I first started this call, remember I was telling you it was for life? Well, that's exactly what this is. That's your lead for life. But I will tell you, every time I mail that person, I do have to give them the opportunity to remove themselves. That's required by law. Okay, but for all intents and purposes, that's your lead for life. So what that means now is that they're in another campaign, another message series, okay? They move from the first one to the second one. The second one is pretty much anything you could think of that you're going to call somebody back that has seen your movie, like I just said. The second one message says something to do with, I have called and emailed you. Maybe the third one might say something, are you still interested? These are things you would ask somebody if you were calling them up. And that's what the system does. And that message series is 7 messages, 2 days apart. After that, you have options, and we're going to get into that at another time. But just to give you a little bit of idea, what I mean by options is when someone goes through the 7 messages over 2 days, and it lasts about 15 days, half a month, you have options. One of the options is you can add more messages, and everybody has their own preference. Another option is going to be where if you look in your back office, there's a video that explains everything to you. It'll explain to you how to create another campaign, another autoresponder. It'll show you how to move people from that 7-message campaign to another campaign. And that will be your campaign, what we call your blasting campaign. Okay, and that's where you would blast people, or your broadcast. Maybe people like the word broadcast better. Okay, but you would broadcast people, and what would you broadcast them? You broadcast them conference calls. We have a conference call right now. You just go in there and you would go into your back office and you would put in there about tonight's conference call. Come to tonight's conference call, because these people have all seen your system. Okay, and now they want to know what you're all about. So you can also broadcast to them anything you really want, anything about the business. You can broadcast to them. Something that I always like people to do is kind of tell them who you are. I had a school teacher. I had a colonel in this armed service, retired colonel. And I told him, I said, God bless you. Thanks for serving our country. And I said, let people know who you are. Let them know that people want to know that you're a person doing this. You're not anybody special. I was never anybody special. And I don't even consider myself special now. I just had the drive. And that's why we're all on this call right now, okay, because we are different. If we were not different, we'd be happy to work 9 to 5, paydays on Friday, and get back to work again on Monday. But we're not like that. We want more. And that's why we're on this call. And that's the beauty of what we do and what we're all about. So what me and Michael are trying to do is we're trying to show you guys a system. And what you want to do is you want to communicate and show that system to other people. And you can do that in your broadcast to people. You can tell them you're a school teacher, you're a plumber, something short and sweet. And in an effort that person's going to respond back to you. Maybe going to email you back, okay, or maybe they'll even call you. Because that's how our system is all set up. So with that being said, over a period of time, your system's going to grow and grow and grow and grow. It'll be $29.95. Basically, that's only 30 leads if you're buying survey leads. Do you feel you can sponsor one person on 30 survey leads? I know people that buy 200, 300, 400, 500 survey leads, pretty much a day at times. And I don't even know if it takes them 2-3 days before they sign somebody up. So the main point is with our system, it's not so the fact that people are going to join you immediately. Keep in mind, you have a system for life. You have a system that you're managing the people that are there. Getting back to what I first said to you, it's a huge advantage to have people that you first got involved with when you first started working from home. Because you're going to be successful. Now, it all depends how successful you want to be. But I feel I've seen many, many systems. I've built systems. When I was vice president of sales for a large lead generation company, we built many, many, many systems. At that time, our company was Eric Ware Technologies. Anybody wants to look it up, they can feel free to look it up. But we built many, many marketing systems. I made a lot of money in programs back then with marketing systems. So just a quick overview. And one thing I want to mention that my system does, as I mentioned to you, it gives you all the information of every single person that was redirected to your page, your movie. How many autoresponders are out there that you do not even know who went to see your movie? unless you fill out a form. That's what AWeber does. That's permission-based mailing. But I think it's a huge advantage to know every single person that has been interested in a work-from-home business, read your personal email, liked what they read, liked what they saw, liked the subject line, and then click for more information from you. That was redirected to the movie. To me, that's huge. That's the biggest thing here. Okay, and you capture all their information. You capture their first name, their last name, and so forth. Now, one of the things I do want to touch base on is the information correct that we get? Remember, guys, it's a lead. So the information was put in by a lead. They filled out a form. That's how we've got this lead, that they're interested in information in the work-from-home business. So, no, they don't have to put their right information. They don't have to put their right address and their phone number. But a lot of them are. A lot of them are good. But the main point is that you have their email address. And we know that's good because our system tells us. We got their IP address. We got their date and time stamp. We know their email is good. And that's really what we're communicating with that person, and that's your lead for life. The other situation is that if you haven't heard it yet, I'll let you know now, 30 to 40% of the people, could be as much as 50% of the people right now are screening phone calls. It's not like it was back in the 90s and early 2000s. Okay, people are screening their phone calls. So, again, you need a marketing system, and that's, again, the beauty of what we have here. Because if you were to buy a lead, let's say someone says, well, I would just buy, survey leads for $1. Well, there we go again. You get a hold of 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5, you're paying $4 or $5 for that lead.